Welcome, my young apprentice. Today I will share with you part 1 of the tragedy of Darth Bane, the great Sith'ari, who set in place the rule of 2, which would succeed to be the great Sith Empire. A young boy born on the outer rim planet of Apatros, in a cortosis mining hub, a powerful, force-sensitive being which was given the name Soule by his mother moments before she would pass away from the stress of labor, leaving him with his resentful, hate-filled father, Hurst, who would call the child by a different name, referring to him as the bane of his existence. Soule was physically and emotionally scarred by his alcoholic, gambling-addicted father, cultivating a hate that would be unbearable to most. Hurst's addictions accumulated a great deal of debt to the mining guild, which was near impossible to pay off as the gambling and drinking outweighed the work. When Soule became old enough, he began working in the mines with his father. Hurst made no effort to hide the fact that he despised his own son. It got to the point that the hate spilled over to the other miners, making each day in the mine feel colder and darker for Soule. The hate was so normalized that he would allow it to fuel him as he worked, unknowingly tapping into the dark side of the Force. One night, in a drunken rage, Hurst began to verbally abuse Soule, to which the threshold of anger exceeded and Soule challenged his father's virility. Soule began to get beat but refused to fight back as his father pulverized his docile body into the floor. As he lay in bed, unable to sleep from the sheets grazing his wounds, Soule imagined a hand of darkness wrapping around his father's heart, tightening, squeezing the life from it. Passion and anger again unknowingly tapped into the dark side of the Force. The next morning, it was discovered that Hurst had died in his sleep, unaware at the time his calling on the dark side energies is what killed his father. Soule would continue to work as he had a debt to work off if he were to escape Apatros. One day, after a long shift, Soule was the release for miners' unwarranted anger and was attacked. During the fight, the miner pulled out a knife and jabbed it. In a quick counter-attack, Soule bit the miner's thumb clear off. He was then suspended from work without pay. Due to the lack of income, Soule decided to gamble. Soule once more ignorantly used the dark side to influence the other players, intimidating while using the Force to draw the correct cards he needed to win. Soule was suspiciously lucky, and finally, as he won a very unlikely high-stakes game against an officer of the High Republic, the cantina nearly burst out in a fight. Fortunately for Soule, he showed favor in the eyes of the bartender. Quickly, the bartender acted, shutting down the bar and allowing Soule to stay for a bit longer. After Soule believed it was safe for him to go home, he left but was attacked by the officer. They struggled for a moment as the officer's peers looked on in excitement, until the officer tried to stab Soule, to which he reversed the momentum, killing the officer. Although it was in self-defense, Soule knew no one would believe a miner over an officer of the High Republic, so he had to find an escape from Apatros. With the assistance of the bartender, Soule was able to join the army of Sith which were at war with the High Republic. Serving in the Sith Wars, Dessel had an aptitude for navigation, instinct to kill, and intuition which kept his unit alive. He quickly moved up the ranks to make sergeant in his unit known as the Gloom Walkers. A unit commander, Eulabor, was set a mission to which would have led them to their deaths if it was attempted at that time, but if it was waited until sundown, it would be victorious. Fearing to inform the Sith Lord of the oversight, the commander attempted to carry out the mission. Dessel tried convincing the commanding officer. When he was refused, Dessel knocked him out, took lead, and successfully completed the mission at a more opportune time. After the victory, Dessel returned to base with his fellow comrades and was arrested for treason. Dessel was brought to the Sith Lord Copex. Copex could sense Dessel's hate. He could sense the dark side flowing through him. Copex did not ridicule or reprimand Dessel for his transgressions. In fact, Dessel was praised and honored for his bravery and skill. Lord Copex then gave Dessel the choice of rejoining the Gloomwalkers or traveling to the planet of Korriban to join the Brotherhood of Darkness and learn the ways of the Sith. Without hesitation, Dessel died to his old life, casting out his old name, being reborn a Sith, being reborn as Bane. By embracing the name that once tormented him, Bane joined the Sith Order and quickly proved to be an excellent fighter. The stronger teachers began offering private lessons as they could sense his passion and power. Bane's only friends were the holograms and the old Sith manuscripts. Bane learned of an ancient temple which held the teachings of Darth Raven. Bane recovered the holocron and he learned the old ways of the Sith. Bane believed a cleansing of the dark side was in order. Bane believed the Force was like venom. If it was in one cup, it would kill a great dragon, but if it was spread out to many, it would merely be a mild irritant. Believing that the Brotherhood's philosophy was weakening the Order, Bane began to plan how he would overthrow them. Bane then took the title of Darth, which the Brotherhood of Darkness chose to do away with as to not cause more infighting amongst the Sith. Darth Bane believed the power of the dark side was too spread out amongst weak Sith. He now believed in the rule of two, a master and an apprentice. One to embrace the power, and one to crave it. A lineage which, when the apprentice would be ready, shall kill the master, taking the title and responsibility to train an apprentice to keep the legacy. I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of the tragedy of Darth Bane. For more holocrons, please like and subscribe below. The Force is strong with you, my young apprentice.